Dude says.
That would be we were talking about recently, was like, what should I be getting into?
Mm-hmm.
You go hike the Appalachian Trail, bro. That would be wild.
What's that like, do you think? What is that like? Is that... I've heard the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, me too. I don't know anything about it other than it exists. Steve, you know anything about the Appalachian Trail?
Nope.
Why are you calling it the Appalachian? Is it Appalachian or Appalachian?
Appalachian.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Potatoes. But people say tomato. It's like, who the fuck calls it a tomato?
I don't know anybody who calls it a tomato.
I know, but that's like a saying, right?
And no, I don't know anybody
tomato,
says,
tomato. No, it's not. It's tomato. I always get pissed.
Yeah, same with
that.
Potato. Like,
Yeah, potato. It's like
You say
that's a stupid
potato?
saying.
You
Yeah,
say tomato, I say beef jerky.
yeah, yeah. So stupid, man. Tomato. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's not tomato.
Not at all.
Nobody says it that way.
Not me.
Maybe people from Fargo. We've been watching Fargo recently.
I know.
They pronounce stuff pretty weird.
Yeah,
It's interesting because Fargo is up near Canada, and there's some similarities in the way they pronounce their O's.
Yeah, it seems to be like a softer, rounded mouth. Like I can't even honestly do it. But
Yeah, it's like their vowels are different.
Vowels.
It's like instead of A-E-I-O-U, it's like A-E-I-O-U.
A-E.
They go up there and we're gonna have some little fun doing stuff there.
Oh yeah, the cupcake donuts.
The cupcake
cupcake
donuts, don't you know? Don't you know? It's weird.
'cause the guy I was living with in New York was from Wisconsin. He doesn't sound like anything besides a New Yorker, honestly. I'm always, like, I don't know how many people from there I've met, but
What's funny is that you can live right next door to, like, if you're from Boston, right? Like, there's people from Boston that have a very New England accent, and then there's people who would live right down the street from them that have that don't have that at all. And I think maybe it's from the influence of television. Like, you can hear so many different dialects just sitting at home.
yeah. I like when people think that I have an accent.
What type of accent would they think you had?
Just like a Pacific Northwest accent, I assume. I don't know. I just like it. They're typically people from, even living in New York, they're just like, oh, you're not from here, are you? And it's like, no. Who is? There's, everybody's a transplant out there, but at the same time, people from foreign countries and stuff that just like the American accent in and of itself. I just like that. It's so weird because I don't even actually hear. I can hear it and I can imitate it, but my dad's accent has like gone through my ears for so long that I don't even like. It just sounds like a normal person talking.
Same with Taz. I'll hear a different Australian speak.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, "Oh, dude, you're laying it on thick."
Yeah,
but Taz, doesn't sound like Taz has an accent to me anymore.
Yeah, she has a thick one.
Super thick.
Yeah, and my dad's accent is super thick.
Super thick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I hear it when we're like watching the videos back and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's there. But for so much of my life, I just
it's so wild.
That's just a guy talking English.
Yeah, his accent's very thick.
I know. I'm about to go see my daddy. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we gotta shoot a Diego Gavilanes TV show. Just follow him around with camera. I'm interested to see what he different people interact with cameras differently.
Yeah. I don't think he'd do well.
Yeah.
He'd just be like,
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to get people in a natural habitat.
I wonder if there's much theory or thought on how you do that well, right? Like capture people in their natural habitat unnatural. Like, it's not natural to immortalize human beings through a lens. It's just not a natural thing. But I'm sure there are more natural documentarians who are able to assimilate to a group of humans, a single person, and make them feel comfortable enough whilst there's a camera out to be themselves. And I don't know, like, I'd be interested to see what type of person does that really well. I've been around some photographers who do it pretty well, but never a videographer.
Yeah, it's really hard to try to make people act naturally when there is when there's cameras around.
Right, because it's
just-
a completely
an impossible
unnatural thing.
It doesn't have to be. It's just like, this is just here.
Well, documenting something
Right.
and storing it as like ones and zeros on a hard drive eventually, right? Like hard drives are kind of our new scrolls or our new,
That's weird.
they're going to like, if we blow the thing to bits, right? They'll come and find these like hard drive server farms in the middle of Nevada, and all of our recorded history will be on them. Who knows if they'll be able to like?
Is that where they are? Is that what it is?
There's
Is that like
pretty. I don't know where they all are, but I know there's gigantic server farms in Nevada, and I think, yeah, I'm not sure where
Oh,
where they
weird.
all are at, but
YouTube itself must have a farm.
oh, it's like a. I mean, let's look at it. What is they have
Look
to
at
be.
it on YouTube. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, it's that seems wild.
Inside a Google data center.
A data center is the brains of the internet.
Yeah, I want to hear you talk, bro.
Yeah, shut up, Dwight. 11.
So that's what. I mean, that's not even. But that's just one of them. That's just like a one Google data center.
Go inside. You don't want to see what it looks like inside. I would walk in there and walk out immediately. I wouldn't know what the hell I was looking at.
Just confused. Just get a
Yeah.
headache.
Yeah, immediately. Hey.
So like all of
bye.
so what we have over there, that black box, right, that we store all of our episodes on,
Mm-hmm.
that is a NOS bay, or essentially a server that has hard drives in it. And whenever you record something digitally, it stores all that information in ones and zeros
Hey.
and stores it on the hard drive, right? So this, what you're seeing right here, if you're not watching this on YouTube, but you're listening to it, essentially we're looking inside of a Google data center, which is just like, it's like a Walmart, but instead of aisles of chips, it's just aisles of servers. Each one of those little lines right there, that's like a server bay, has probably, I have no idea how much storage you could put in one of those, but that's one of those NOSes.
Wow.
So to think of that whole thing, and that's just one of them.
Yeah.
That's just one of
The many.
inside a Google data center. So obviously they have like a ton of them,
Mm-hmm.
but
What a trip, dude.
it's wild, bro. I mean, and that's
crazy.
kind of like what human existence is right now. Because we're all storing our life now digitally.
Into a
We don't-
cloud.
Yeah, like when nobody has printed pictures of themselves anymore. I mean, you
no.
printed us that book, and it was so special.
That's what's weird, is that printing a book for somebody now and giving it as a gift is like a special thing.
Right.
It always was, I
you-
guess.
'cause-
But like,
well, but honestly, we could have accessed every single one of those photos on our phone, but
Right.
because somebody assembled them and put them outside of our phone, it was special.
yeah.
I have plenty of friends who like walk around in their phone with all of their recorded history,
Mm-hmm.
with thousands of pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
I just checked mine the other day. I have like over 10,000 photos, and they only go back to like 2015 or 16.
yeah, you probably lost a phone or something. And
Yeah. Where did all those
yeah,
pictures
Steve,
go?
doesn't Laura have like every photo she's ever taken?
Probably.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool when you have, I mean, God, you can get so lost going back into your photos and just looking, like I did when I was making that thing for you guys. I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, my earliest photos, I think, in my phone, I don't have my phone on me, but they're like maybe 2010.
How do you go back and get those? You just don't. If they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, I mean, they're gone.
That sucks, man.
They're,
My
unless
dad
you
used to-
print them, unless you print them out, or you have. But like 2010, they didn't have the cloud services like they
So
do
you just
today.
still have those.
'Cause I just like
photos.
every time I've gotten a new phone, I mean, I back everything. I'm very kind of anal about that. I have one of those NOS systems at my house plugged into my Wi-Fi router. So every time I enter my house, all of the things I've created digitally upload onto that thing. But if that thing blows up, then goodbye, bye, gone.
Bye.
I never existed.
I don't think we exist right now, dude. What you think about that?
That's heavy, bro. What, you don't think we exist?
No, I think we exist. People say that we're in like a simulation, and I don't know. I think
How does that make you feel? Does that make your brain hurt?
A little bit. It's a little over my head, and I just kind of am like, I don't know, man. I'm like feeling things and seeing things and experiencing things, and I choose to not buy into that mess of a idea.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's just like, do I want to stress myself out?
We're living in a simulation. Well, I'm simulating punching you in the mouth right now. Can you feel that algorithm, you little bitch?
Yeah, I can, dude. It hurts. It hurts because you know what? I feel those thoughts, Steve. Just the idea that you would want to do it hurts me. So that's how I know I'm not in a simulation, because I'm feeling so emotional about it.
Have you guys read much about Google's quantum computer that they just invented?
Hell no, dude.
Steve?
No.
It's wild. Apparently it's like 100,000 times faster than any computer we have on the planet.
What is the point? Like, I mean, like, obviously it's go fast, but like, computers are seemingly pretty fast as it is.
So it's like it's quantum. It's a quantum computer, and so
Okay.
I don't understand it at all. But essentially, like this computer that they just invented a year ago.
Hold on. It's a quantum computer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just talking about shit.
I know. I'm just listening. I'm just laughing at how stupid we are.
Like, yeah, Google and NASA's Quantum Artificial Intelligence Lab. So, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand the word quantum. Like when someone says like quantum physics, I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't understand what that means. But when I'm listening to people who are much smarter than me express what that is, I go, oh, that's a big deal, I guess, right? And it seems like that
sounds important.
That leap in engineering is like what the leap in engineering when we
wrote the movie Terminator.
Exactly, yeah. We figured out. No, like Jurassic Park, right? So like the CGI that went into Jurassic Park, it was groundbreaking. Nobody had ever done that before. And it changed movies forever. Now a movie set is just green. Everybody's green, top to bottom, and then they make the universe in post, right? So that Jurassic Park leap that James Cameron made changed movie filmmaking and changed the trajectory.
Spielberg.
I think you're thinking of...
oh, was it Spielberg?
You're thinking of Avatar.
No, I'm not thinking of Avatar. I'm thinking of Jurassic
Steven
Park.
Spielberg
Jurassic Park was robotics.
It wasn't robotics. It was CGI. It was like one of the first glimpses into what animated CGI could be. And was it Spielberg who did Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Okay. So that changed movies and cinema forever.
But it was robotics.
It wasn't robotics. It was
It was robotics.
It was some robotics and some CGI.
Great movie.
But like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? That was a robot. But there's like the big
little
shots where like the planes where you're like, it's like a helicopter flyover. That's all CGI. And when it came out, it was like, oh my God, right? So that's what I think this quantum computer is like, it's going to change the course of human history forever.
We're not going to be needed. You're going to get a hologram of you on stage, and I'm going to have an animation of me on screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely truth.
And they're going to be
that.
perfect performances.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what, because now with like face recognition technology, and like, have you guys seen, Steve, you're constantly sending me like videos of you being Leonardo DiCaprio.
Those are the
Right?
best.
It's like deep fake videos. What's that app called?
I don't know.
Send us one so we can look at it.
I'm reading about Jurassic Park CGI right now.
Or what are you finding out?
It doesn't
Fact
use a lot
check
of
us.
CGI.
It does not.
No.
It doesn't use a lot of CGI, but it was
5 minutes.
was the first movie to do so. Is what I'm saying. Or use that specific type
I mean, it certainly looks good.
Does it hold up still?
Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
No, I mean like the CGI.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jurassic Park is awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't look dated at all.
That's crazy.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Avatar was like all CGI. I think that's what you were thinking of, because that was
No. I wasn't. I was talking. I was
Okay.
speaking of Jurassic Park because it was the first movie to ever use a computer graphics animation
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's not.
in the
Case.
in the capacity that it did that. It was it was one of the first, if not the first, to use some sort of computer generated animation.
Wow.
And then fast forward 15 years and you have Avatar, which is all computer graphics.
Dude,
pretty
he's
much.
working on Avatar 2 and 3 that are
Wow.
going to come out in like
At the same
20
time.
I think so. I'm not
Crazy.
really sure.
It
But he's
seems
been-
like it would be smart, actually.
He's been working on those. He worked on Avatar for like 20 years before Avatar came out, and he's been working. And it's been, I think that movie came out in like 2008.
That must be wild to work on something like that, right? That's so heavily based in graphics and animation, because that technology has got to be changing rapidly every year.
Yeah, well, James
Wow.
Cameron is on it.
Yeah, he's on it.
I think that's
He's
probably
innovating
why
for
he's
it,
like
yeah.
waiting for things to continue to. I think he's probably inventing a lot of technologies for himself
Mm.
for these movies.
James Cameron, I'm pretty sure, did this like bonkers deep sea dive. Did he make a movie that way? Is this what I'm thinking of?
Crazy. I'm saying like Alfred Hitchcock used CGI in Vertigo in 1958.
What?
Yeah.
Sweet.
He used a computer graphic?
I mean, for what that would be, yeah. There's like a whole history of like the first like full movie was in 1983, and it looked like crap.
And it was all computer generated.
I mean, whatever. I guess
Animation.
however you would
Define computer.
define computer, yeah, at the time.
Yeah, we watched Total Recall over at Jamil's house.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
terrible.
It was
Yeah.
so bad, but there was some CGI in that.
Well,
that movie sucks.
it was.
Okay, so the first Western animated film to use computer graphics as they are today was The Last Starfighter in 1984, and that's like when he's flying the plane. It's like a video game.
Huh.
But yeah, it doesn't look anything like Jurassic Park or
Yeah.
Avatar.
I remember watching some like director's cut behind the scenes about Jurassic Park and what they were able to pull off
Yeah.
for that time, and it seemed like a very groundbreaking technology.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't have any interest in computer graphics for making movies, as far as I'm like.
Yeah, it
concerned as an artist.
doesn't do anything for me.
I mean, it does. It does. You see it and you're like incredible, but as a creative myself, I don't have the interest of utilizing that.
Interest or budget?
Even if I had the budget, man, I don't know. I can't speak to it because it depends on the type of filmmaking. But I don't know. I guess like
The
as a-
movies that lean to it's really kind of any art form that leans too heavily on computers sort of loses me.
do you like Pixar
I
movies?
was gonna say, what about Pixar?
Oh yeah, shit. I love Pixar. That
They're
doesn't count.
beautiful.
Because
That
like
doesn't count.
Marvel. No, it does. It does totally count. Sorry.
I'm talking about like you
Like Marvel movies, I can't
Avengers,
handle.
so the
I can't do
whole
it.
thing is a
Movies-
green screen.
movies that just like bleed into each other with like reality and
Yeah,
computer.
well, no, because Pixar movies are very much so like not founded in reality. They're disconnected from reality, and they pull from elements of real life. But like Toy Story is an incredible movie. It's
one of the best.
completely made up. I don't know what it is about Marvel movies and like movies that I don't like them.
Yeah. I don't.
What about like Inception or like?
Yeah, Inception I love. So I guess it's not the like leaning too heavily on CGI. It's like there's something about
you've
superheroes that just turns
well, you've
me
also
off,
said
maybe.
before like you have a hard time like buying into fantastical stuff.
Yeah, I've always had a hard time buying into fantasy. To like sci-fi. That's a better term. Like sci-fi movies have really, but Avatar I loved. It's weird.
Oh, we watched Avatar recently. It's so stupid. I mean, it's a great idea. Like Fern Gully was Avatar, right? But the dialogue and the acting in it is so garbage. It's so like Susan Sarandon. I think Susan Sarandon.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Gorns.
Like she's obviously a legendary actress, but like, God, man, we watched it because I was like, dude, this is gonna be so cool to watch again. We watched it on the projector.
Giovanni Ribisi.
God, yeah, Giovanni Ribisi, dude. He's one of the scientists in the lab. Yeah, it was not good. It was just like, God, this dialogue is so. It was like they spent all the money on the graphics and like they wrote the script in 24 hours. Like, God,
It could have. I mean, that was probably one of the first times actors have had to act in a like set that I would imagine was just all green.
I doubt it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, a lot of
that doesn't justify how poor some of the acting was. It was really bad.
Yeah, when Eddie Murphy can talk to 5 different characters that are tennis balls that are him and nail it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my point is that the difference between Eddie Murphy. Well, one, it's Eddie Murphy, but prior to Avatar, I don't know how many movie studios were shooting
Full green screen.
like full green everything so that they could manipulate it in post. And if you're the first actor to ever attempt to give a compelling performance in that space, it might be really difficult. And that's maybe what you saw.
Yeah.
Was like, you hold on, James, you want me to just like act like there's like,
I mean,
there's nothing around here. There's no buttons. There's
Yeah.
no like, I'm
Yeah.
not in any set. I'm literally just in a green,
It was like-
opaque
Yeah.
room.
It must be
Titanic was like a green pool.
Yeah, it must be super bizarre to act that way. But still, just like the dialogue written, I'm sure those guys weren't just ad-libbing Avatar. So
Well, they
like
were,
the
bro.
dialogue was just, it was bad. It was just bad. Like if you want to take the time to go back and watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about, because it was just like, yikes, dude. This, so many like one-liners and like punchy things, and it's just it was bad. Worst Avatar lines.
Yeah, they ain't gonna have any Avatar, the movie Avatar, in here at all.
But yeah, but that's a weird thing about sci-fi. Like I want to be more into sci-fi because it pulls from, like human psychology and where the world is going, and kind of like these very thought-provoking places, and typically like pulls from reality. It's just told in a story that's like more vast outside of what we know.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I try to like dig and sink my teeth into that type of stuff. But I have a hard time with it myself.
It loses me so quick, I think, because of, I don't know. It just has some fantasy I can totally buy into and get to. I think if there's too many non-human elements connected to what looks like humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I get lost in Toy Story because I'm like, oh, well, this is an animated, like these are toys.
Yeah.
This is all fake.
Yeah.
But like, I think with the
It's hard
Marvel
to suspend
stuff,
your disbelief.
yeah, it's like I'm teetering in between, because the Marvel people have like real human qualities while also possessing the ability to like shoot fire out of their dicks.
Yeah.
I just,
God, I wish I could shoot fire out of my dick.
I mean, I could introduce you to a couple.
Do you like you're kind of a sci-fi dude, aren't you, Steve? you like read books and sci-fi, don't you, or am I mistaken?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say like I'm a sci-fi buff by any means, but I mean, I enjoy, Star Wars
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Dude, we watched The Matrix. That's a great
I
movie.
enjoy the fantasy in the kind of like extension of human mind and experience versus it just being like a reality
Yeah.
that I live in.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a Marvel Universe fan?
Yeah, I'd say I was.
Yeah. Oh, you were. Is it not? Is it?
No, I
done?
am. I mean, I'm sure they'll remake it, but like, do I like Batman and do I like those movies? Yeah, I do. They're fantastical, so I take them like that. I don't take them literally. I don't need to let my projection be a part of what I'm taking from what they're giving.
Right. Yeah, I was always amused by those movies until until it got too much, and I couldn't keep up with it. And there's so much storyline that happens in between itself, and all these different movies, and like branches off different movies, and it was just too much. And that's what happened with Star Wars for me too. I can't keep up with that stuff, so I just watch movies about life, trials and tribulations, and the hardships of being a working class human being in the world.
Hardships of being somebody who plays pretend for a living.
Hardships of hammer pants.
You guys want to see something fun? This is a Bear Charge 2012.
Have you seen this, or are you just playing it
No,
randomly?
no,
Is it
playing it.
CGI or
It had 1 million views, so it's probably pretty good. Oh my God!
My God, dude. What is he doing? Dude.
Get out of here, monkey.
If that started charging me, I wouldn't do shit. I would just prepare to die. Well, what is he doing?
Oh, right. Like that bear has...
What? Dude, this guy sucks.
That guy's a badass, bro. What are you talking about?
No, he's not. He's just an idiot.
What are you going to do in that situation?
He put himself in that situation.
Oh, my God.
What do you mean?
He's out hunting. He didn't go... let me go find a grizzly and just get it to charge me.
Let me put myself on camera, point a big-ass gun at this bear, laugh,
He's out hunting.
and say, fuck yeah, I got this fucking ripper ready to fucking represent.
That would be so terrifying, dude.
I
Oh
pooped
my
my pants already.
I cannot.
Yikes.
That is the worst. This ability to play videos on our podcast is real fun for us. Probably real annoying for people listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the rights deals with that? Because we always talk about, like, if you play music, they'll take you down. They don't take you down if you play Uncle Cheddar Bob.
I think if our podcast was getting more than like 7 views on YouTube, they might like demonetize us if we played audio. Like, we could play the video for just me and Julian as like reference, but it's when you utilize it in your video, that's where the copyright law comes into play, and then you can be demonetized for that specific video. For us, it doesn't matter because we're not making any money on YouTube anyways. But for a gigantic podcast that's getting millions of views every time they post a clip, that's like legit money. And you don't want to be pulled off YouTube if that's like a main revenue stream. Definitely not for us, though.
Definitely not for us.
No.
Well, thanks, YouTube, for letting us be on your spot. I wish more people would watch us.
It's high production, baby. High production.
Yeah, what do you know
but
about
I've
this?
noticed, though, too, like my favorite podcasts, I try to sit down and watch them. I'll throw them on. And like, I don't focus on them the same way because I'll put them on in the background, right? Like if I'm upstairs editing a video or something, I'll throw on like one of my favorite podcasts is Bad Friends with Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. And I don't listen to it the same way as if I were like out running and I've got my ear pods in.
Yeah.
So I think people who are just listening, are probably actually leaning in more. So to all those people, we love you.
Yeah, thank you for being
And,
here with us.
thanks for
and being
checking
our
in.
friends.
Keep it real.
I don't watch. I don't listen to any podcasts that do the video. All the podcasts that I listen to are strictly podcasts.
Strictly audio.
Audio, yeah.
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 What-
I might watch it. I don't know. Because whenever I'm listening to them, I'm either driving or working out. Those are kind of the only times I
Armchair
listen.
Expert is does video.
No.
It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I could have swore it did.
No,
But
they don't. They like take photos and stuff and post them out, but no. You don't listen to that one, do you?
Armchair Expert? I have.
Yep.
Yeah, I listened to Jackie Tone's episode. Jackie's been a friend of mine for a long time, and so I wanted to.
Yeah, you gotta get those people on. The reason why we're having so many personal podcasts is because we're taking off for a little while from each other. So we're just trying to like get ourselves situated with some podcasts so we can keep the content coming for you guys while we're away.
Yeah, these ones are all like, I love the interview ones. I love kind of everything. I just love talking, honestly.
I just love hearing my own voice.
No, not necessarily that. I just enjoy
just chatting,
exploring ideas. But my favorite shows to do are always the ones with just us.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of friends as well, and who listen to this and kind of asked them, or they'll reach out to me and be like, "Yeah, that was like great and funny and super easy." And from what I've gotten is that people think we just seem to be more in our element when we're talking to ourselves, which is totally true. Because when we're talking to a guest, we're trying to kind of like navigate a conversation between you and I and the guest, and then like trying to also respect the guest and like ask questions that would make them seem interesting and like keep the conversation going here. Whereas here we're just shooting the shit and being nards.
Totally. And I'm constantly trying to sound smart. Like I notice that whenever we have a guest on, just doing my best to think about the coolest word I could say.
Yeah.
That would make me seem like my IQ is way higher than it is.
And it totally reads like you are trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. It doesn't.
I'm sure it does. I definitely know when it's happening because I'm pausing in the middle of my
because you're trying to think about the right word to say.
I'm not having like flow state conversation because I'm thinking in front of myself, trying to think of like clever words to say.
Yeah.
My vernacular is not great. And so
I know. Don't you wish it was though?
Yeah, I wish I
thought you were going to be like, nah.
I wish I sounded smarter. I think it wouldn't change the level of intelligence, like for me personally, if I just knew. Well, I guess they would go hand in hand. But then I think there's sometimes where like people who speak too intelligently come off like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, yeah, there's a fine line between it, I guess. You can sound like an asshole if you're talking super smart because you're using big words because you're trying to impress.
Yeah, you're just trying to.
Talking super smart.
Can you tell how smart I am based on how I speak? Because I am not smart. But I feel though like when we're doing these, I feel an ease now that I didn't in the beginning. I remember when we first started this thing, and I was like, God, like so many things that we've started talking about in every episode we've had together. I've been like, great, keep going, keep talking, keep doing whatever. But when we first started, I was just like, oh man, this is like so uninteresting and so stupid, and we need to be talking about something more important. And now it's just like random, and I don't necessarily even recognize that the cameras are here when we're talking. And I feel like, I don't know, if I'm going to say something that might be controversial or something like that, I might like think twice about it,
right? Just
because I know I'm not just talking to you,
right? But
it's only kind of then when I have those moments of like, okay, think maybe check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey folks, today our episode is brought to you in part by our good friends at Ladder Coffee. Head to laddercoffee.com and you can order beans directly from the brewer, as well as some of this beautiful cold brew. Locally owned and operated out of Spokane, Washington. Check it out, Ladder Coffee.
I'm jacked!
You bridle yourself a little bit when something can potentially be viewed as many times as it possibly can be viewed.
Yeah.
But you do that normally anyways, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
censor yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a room full of anybody, like there's only a few people in my life that like there's absolutely, I don't feel any filter.
Yeah.
But even so, like if I feel like there's something that I might say to even that minor amount of people that would hurt their feelings, I will attempt to place it in a certain regard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good trait. I don't know.
For
Some
sure.
people might be annoyed at that. Like I think my wife gets annoyed at that at times. She's just like, tell me what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just like trying to beat around the bush to like avoid controversy.
Right.
And my Taz is very much.
Taz
She doesn't
buy it.
avoid controversy at all. She's
I
like, she just
man,
says
you
it
should
the
see her
way
at the
she
dinner table sometimes.
sees
dude.
it.
It's so good.
Oh my God. I've gotten better at it. It was like for so long, it's so annoying to me.
What? That she just calls it like it is?
She just, well, that's the interesting part is like calls it like it is, calls it like she sees it,
Right.
but not calls it like it is. Because it is so many different things to so many different people constantly. And so, but there's something very revering of that. And I think that's probably why I'm
Married to her?
attracted to her, is because I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I see it in this like really multi-dimensional facet, which is like, oh, the way I see something is just the way I see it. It's not how everybody else sees it. So I should really place myself in these other, you know, and you end up just tying yourself in a knot.
Yeah.
Whereas all you're responsible for is the way you see something.
Has that always been the case between you two, or do you think you kind of influence each other to be opposites more because of the way that you're acting and reacting to each other?
I think that I'm attracted to her because of that attribute. I think I'm attracted to her because she is a very 1 + 1 = 2 type of person, right? She doesn't hinder her opinion based upon how it potentially might make me feel. She's very much so like what you see is what you get. Whereas me, I think I'm way more calculated in everything I do. Not that she doesn't calculate what she does, but she will express her feelings. I will express how I think I should express my feelings, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I wish I had the other capability, but I'm so terrified of controversy and like hurting people's feelings. I just avoid it. And then it ends up
Hurting people's feelings because they see through it.
I don't know if it does that. It's not helpful.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm going to save other people from this thing. And ultimately you can't compartmentalize that. It still exists whether you talk about it or not.
Right.
So I think that's probably why I'm initially, definitely attracted to her. It hasn't changed. I'm still terrified.
Is it equal parts of like you're attracted to it as much as you are like frustrated by it?
When it's about me,
Yeah.
it's frustrating. Cause like there's no.
What do you mean?
Well, like
what's an example of when it's about you?
When she tells me
Oh, that
like that I'm an asshole,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
that I'm dumb or whatever I'm doing is right. Cause like I'm the type of person who's like, I'm going to lay you down gently. And I may not even lay you down at all. Right. Like I'm going to lay it down so gently that it just doesn't even seem like I'm laying anything down.
Yeah.
Whereas she's just like, she'll drop you. And I think that personally, I'm envious of that capability because my life would be so much easier if I just had the balls to hurt people's feelings. But I don't have the minerals to like hurt people's feelings, or I don't have the minerals to be the guy who people don't like when they're not around.
Right. I've had many conversations about this before, and I was talking to a friend of mine, Heather, who has the son whom I met at the Ronald McDonald House a long time ago, Hunter.
Yeah.
And my relationship with them has gone for like 15 years now, maybe. And she's so great, and she mothers these 3 young boys that are all really cool kids in my life. And she knows me pretty well at this point, and I always talk to her about like wanting to continue to work in my life to be liked and to try and figure out the way that like is going to make me whatever it is that I'm trying to become. And at the end of the day, like I have this need to be admired and loved, and it sucks, but it's true. And she was giving me this example one day when we were on the phone, because I was referring to how I work a lot harder than smarter, and I sometimes like work really hard to maintain friendships and try to like create them and like make sure that everybody in the room knows who I am, so that I feel like, great, I've touched everybody and they can all have this impression of me that's good. She said she just this was a few months ago, she had just started back at work after they had taken a big pause from COVID, and she went back in. And there was new employees there at this place that she'd been at for like 20 years. And she walked in and they had this big meeting and people were meeting each other. And she said, hey, I just want everybody to know that I've been here for 20 years. I have no interest in anybody that's here, in being friends and doing anything other than showing up here, doing my job and leaving. I would appreciate if you guys just kind of respected that. Like, that's just who I am. That's just what I wanted to say. I'm out. And she was like, it was incredible because almost the whole entire staff approached me thereafter and were just like, hey, that was really cool. Like, I really admire you for that. Whereas I've like been trying to get people to like admire me by like, I'm funny, I'm cool, I'm nice, I'm generous, here I am.
I don't like food.
I don't like food. You know, and she did it the exact opposite way. And we think, in my mind, I'm like, if I did that, like everybody would be like, he's such an asshole. Like I don't want to hang out with that guy. He's such a jerk. And she genuinely like was expecting that to be the case and wouldn't have cared otherwise. Like, it was just like, fine. But the reality of it was that everybody liked her at the end of it. And we're just like, I totally admire you. So did the exact same thing. And she worked a fraction as hard. She didn't work at all for it. She just got respect.
Yeah, but did people leave her alone?
I hope so. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her since. And call her up tomorrow. Hey, are people still like leaving you alone now, or are they just like wanting to be friends with you because you're so cool?
It is funny though how potentially both of those things resulted in something you didn't like.
Right.
Right. Like, you want everybody to like you is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Just because you
don't want everybody to like you.
You don't want everybody to like you. They love you.
Yeah.
It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. I don't possess the emotional capacity to like actually give up on that idea of like trying to get people to like me. I just can't.
It's fine. You're a very likable person. I like you.
Because I try, I think. Do you
it's
like
actually
me,
when
Steve?
you're not trying that is the
Of course it is.
Most I like you the most.
Of course. But it's just never gonna be fully gone. I don't know. Maybe it will someday
You
eventually.
might when you're older. Steve possesses the capability of
it's great.
don't
dude.
give a fuck.
And people like you, Steve, because of that. It's just like, oh, Steve's fucking awesome, dude. He doesn't give a shit what I think.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yes, Julian, I like you.
I like you too. Thanks. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know.
Stop going around those Ronald McDonald schools and trying to touch everyone.
I'm
appropriate.
just trying.
Set yourself up for that one, Dean.
I'm trying to touch people, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought experiment, the human experience.
I'm always.
Where do you think it comes from? Is it the younger child syndrome? Because we're both youngest children. Steve, you're the oldest.
I'm the oldest, yeah.
The need to please.
Yeah.
Steve, you're the oldest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably, man. It must have something to do with everything that informed us as youngsters. I'm sure it came from wanting to like please my brothers when I was older and never being able to do it until I was an adult.
Yeah, I don't know, the way you're raised. It's like I think about that with my parents, where my dad is completely indifferent to things that he doesn't care about or like, but he loves hosting and everyone loves coming to our place to hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is that what you were just talking about, that like my dad couldn't care less, but everyone wants to be around that because it almost takes away their caring or their feeling like they have to try super hard to enjoy themselves. Where it's like, just fucking enjoy yourself or don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're saying when he's hosting, he's indifferent.
No, he's just indifferent in general to things that he doesn't really care about. Like, if he doesn't like something, he just won't like it, and that's fine. He doesn't care that it bothers somebody. But everyone likes being around our house. When I was growing up, it was like the house to go hang out at because there was no pressure because, I don't know, it's hard to phrase, but there was no pressure to try to impress anybody. You could just be yourself and do your thing. And that takes a lot of weight off of people trying to, like, be funny or the life of the party or this, that, or the other thing. It's like, just come over and hang out. I don't care if we don't talk for 6 hours. Just enjoy yourself, be yourself. If that makes any sense.
That's such an interesting idea, be yourself, because the word be is like a verb, right? Like being.
Do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
yourself.
do nothing. Wait, what? Like do nothing is like an irony, which be yourself always like. Well, that's the first thing you can say to me if you want me to not be myself.
Right.
Like, because I'm gonna try to search for like, well, who am I?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's such an interesting juxtaposition.
Mm-hmm.
Be
The
yourself.
worst thing when people say that in like an audition room. They're just
Do
like, just,
you.
just try to like, be a little bit more you. Just be a little bit more you.
Oh,
You're like,
great.
Thanks for the note. I'm gonna take that and run with it.
Thanks
Out the door.
Thanks for the
I'm
note.
playing a cat in this role, aren't
Yeah.
I? Like,
God, yeah. Seriously, they're in moments like that. Aren't I playing a wombat right now? It's so silly, man. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely has washed away from me more so than it existed in me when I was in my 20s. Man, I was like desperately seeking validation, and I still am, for sure. I was talking to a friend the other day. She was just like, you definitely like need adoration in your life. Otherwise you feel like you're not right. So that sucks, but you work.
it's all right, though. It's just your love language, man. It's fine.
Yeah, but like with the absence of it, am I less than myself?
Not to anyone else, but if
Right.
you think that way, that's just on you.
Right. And so like if your self-worth is wrapped up in what other people's impressions are, which it has slowly gotten less than what it was once, it's still like, if I'm not, that's why I'm like trying to do these like little solo things, because it's just like, I need to sit with myself in my discomfort of being with myself without anybody around to tell me that I'm doing anything right or wrong or anything. And I can just be like, all right, I'm uncomfortable right now. I feel like I should probably like text somebody and ask them if I'm cool or not, because I feel like I need to know, because right now I'm not feeling very cool. And instead of having any or letting those thoughts happen.
When do you notice that you don't worry about that? Are there any
It's
moments
like
where you don't
just
worry?
when I'm like fully engaged in something, when I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but then when your mind wanders,
It's just like when I'm
you like
when I lay down, when I'm not engaged in whatever work or thing I'm trying to do, which is why I always need to like busy myself, because it's like, if I stop, I'm just going to be stuck with myself and in my head. And if I'm in my head, all I'm thinking about is how inadequate I am to the rest of the world, which is, and I know that that's not true, but it's still like where I go. It's like being on a bad drug trip or something like that,
Well, what's interesting is like, it doesn't matter.
Of
Like,
course
there's
it doesn't
There's
matter.
no metric towards that. It's an interesting point, because I've definitely fallen down those paths before in my life, and I feel as far away from it as I've ever been, worrying what the public thinks of you.
Yeah.
Because one, it's constantly a moving target, and so it's impossible to like ride that wave to the beach. You're gonna crash and burn eventually,
Yeah.
regardless of how high on the wave you surf. You're gonna hit the reef.
Yeah.
And we live in a digital economy where everything is fractured and fragmented now. So you could be winning Grammys, you could be starring in the greatest TV series of all time, and 3/4 of the population doesn't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be where that adoration like actually meant something. Like, you, and think about how many incredibly powerful creatives like couldn't handle that rod of fame, right? Like Elvis, Michael Jackson, countless, Marilyn Monroe, countless individuals who just couldn't, that load of fame and adoration was too heavy of a load to bear.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that seem to do it well seem to not care at all. Like, and just simply because it's like the folk who will tell you, yeah, I don't listen to adoration, just like I don't
Pitt or something
just like I don't listen to bad reviews.
Yeah.
Because they're both just as minimal.
Yeah.
As the other. Like a really rave good review is just as vapid as a terrible review.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't actually mean anything in your life. Now, granted, like, I definitely think self thought and what you're doing and how you're doing it is healthy. Like, okay, could I be doing this differently and better? And there's probably a few people in your life who will give you it as it is, but like, adoration from random people is kind of pointless.
For sure. But at the end, like, yeah, it is when you pull back from it.
Far enough, but you're still gripped towards it. I mean, I think I'm definitely a lot less connected to it than I was, but I still dig it. I dig exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and then, you know, when you get it, and when you have access to it, it's like, well, why wouldn't I want people to be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to be adored? If people do, if people feel that way about me, and I can like receive that from them, my problem is like feeling like if I'm not getting enough of a dose of that thing, I need to go like seek out more of it, rather than just like sitting with myself and being like, I'm good regardless of it. And that's why I continue to just like do things, like keep myself occupied, because if I stop, then I'm stuck with myself. And that's such a shitty thing to do, because myself is fucking awesome. Like, I need to adore myself rather than expecting it to come from anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a lifelong journey, but I would imagine that
totally, and
age will prove itself to help you.
I think so.
In that,
I'm sure it will. It's it's already evolving. But I was even getting a massage yesterday and talking to our friend Shauna, who was doing it for me, and we were just talking about like identity, and I was talking about how like I kind of stand on this platform of being like this relatively like vulnerable and like, you know, open to acknowledging my insecurities and character defects, and honest, and, you know, hopefully trying to stand with integrity type of human being. Like I try to represent myself as a vulnerable, compassionate, and self-aware type of person. But I also think that there's a difference between presenting as that and actually being that. And I think I have in my life taken this course of like becoming an actor and like presenting like I'm super vulnerable and I'm super like, yeah, I'm insecure. Like I'm acknowledging that I'm insecure, and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm all these things that like, I think there's truth in everything that I try to say, I hope. But I think a big part of it is the presentation. And it's just like, I said it yesterday in our massage, and I kind of like opened my eyes on the table and was just like, I'm a fucking fraud. It was like this really crazy moment, which is not all true, but that's just like where I go with myself, you know? It's just like, Jesus, dude, like take fucking easy on yourself.
Yeah, you know, you're ultimately a awesome human, and so whatever you're doing, isn't that bad. But
yeah, well, that was all I needed.
The funny part about
Keep
like
going.
I'm insecure, you're taking security in being insecure. Like you're finding security in your ability to say I'm insecure.
Yeah, right.
So it's like constantly a juxtaposition. Like so weird how we exude the things that we're not while we're trying to exude the thing that we are.
Yeah, right. It's like a reverse defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just like I feel like, oh, I can say all the worst things about myself. I can call myself out. I can be self-deprecating. I can shit on myself and make myself look like the biggest fool in the world, so that you can't.
Right. Like if I get there first.
Yeah.
If I get there first, then you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that constantly. I used to do that constantly. I think I still kind of do, where I keep my expectations. I don't get excited about things. Like I don't allow myself to get excited about things because it's an easier fall from nothing than it is to like actually exert my will and try.
Yeah.
And that it's a defense mechanism that just I think lends itself towards just mediocrity.
Yeah.
Really. And I don't like that I do that, but I do it all the time. We got to wrap this thing up, baby.
Well, we're not mediocre at all, fellas. I think we're all exceptional human beings in our own right. I'm fucking super insecure. But I'm just saying that so that I can feel more security right now.
There you go, dude. You're winning battles every day.
Thanks, dude. I feel great about myself now. You got it? Good.
Steve's yawning.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We love you. Hope you're well. Stay blessed. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, boo-boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/live at the lodge, where you can support the How Good's This podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/live at the lodge.